What's up, everyone? Evan Jones with you here on the RPAC Rundown podcast. We've got a great episode lined up for you. We will recap the 2025 NSAA State Wrestling Championships. We will go through the medal winners. It was the first ever standalone girls state tournament for the state championships in Nebraska, so really cool. That took place on the 18th and 19th of February, and then the boys championships were on February 20th, 21st, and 22nd. Again, we'll go through all of those medal winners, and also we'll go through all of the great sponsors that allowed us to provide coverage during the state championships. If there's something you need to get caught up on, we have a bunch of blogs on rpacrundown.com, and you can see everything you need for the state championships for wrestling that took place last week. Also, we will hear from our champions at state wrestling. For the girls, we have Sutherland sophomore Addison Arvdal, who won 190 pounds in Class B, then Southwest Ambie Custard, who took 135 pounds in Class B. And then for the boys, Jeremy Felix of Alma, he took 190 pounds in Class C, so we will talk to all of them. All of them went undefeated this season. It was really awesome to watch them win titles. Finally, we will have Athletes of the Week brought to you by First Central Bank at the end of the show. As always, check us out on social media and rpacrundown.com. Of course, the RPAC Rundown podcast is brought to you by a bunch of great sponsors like Arapahoe Rehab and Fitness, Cambridge Supermarket, Webb's Oilfield Service, Cambridge Rehab and Fitness, Onyx Native, and C+. We'll take a break. Be right back. You're listening to the RPAC Rundown podcast. We spent last week at the Girls and Boys NSAA State Wrestling Championships at the CHI Health Center in Omaha. For the girls, it was the first ever standalone state championship tournament held in Nebraska. That was on Tuesday and Wednesday, the 18th and 19th, and the boys wrestled on the 20th through the 22nd. We had a total of 43 qualifiers between the girls and boys, and 12 athletes got medals. For the girls first, of course, in Class B, Ambie Custard of Southwest placed third at 115 pounds. Madeline Tryon of Southwest finished sixth at 235 pounds. Ambie Custard of Southwest, of course, was a champion, taking first at 135 pounds. And Addison Arvdal of Sutherland took home the title at 190 pounds. Now for the boys in Class D, Grady Dempsey of Sutherland finished third at 113 pounds. Scotty Anderson of Sutherland, he placed sixth at 120 pounds. Oliver Nutter of Sutherland, he finished sixth at 132 pounds. Creighton Weiss of Juanita Palisade, he finished sixth at 190 pounds. Trey Downey of Arapahoe finished sixth at 215 pounds. Carson Schuler of Hitchcock County placed fourth at 215 pounds. Briggs Hill of Arapahoe was a runner-up at 138 pounds. Jeremy Felix of Alma in Class C took home the championship at 190 pounds. It was a very successful week for the wrestlers, I'd say. The atmosphere for both the girls and the boys was excellent. All in all, a great week to say the least. Coverage of the state wrestling championships, though, was not possible without a bunch of great sponsors. Those sponsors were Whitetail Farms, Waypoint Bank in Cambridge, Waypoint Bank in Eustis, Hawkswell Motors, Stalder Repair, Lord's Hardware Furniture and Appliances, Copeland Electric, Western Select Genetics, Lance Shiflett, Eddy Construction, Dundee County Hospital, Convenience Plus, Lakeside Sand and Gravel, Cambridge Rehab and Fitness, Hardin Insurance Agency, Law Office of Ashley K. Spahn, FNIC Trusted Insurance Advisors, Aaron Long of Bertrand, Go Light, Wakanda Boats and Motors, Hammond Hay Grinding, Bentley and Kisker PC, Goodberry Farms, Medicine Creek Counseling, Dakey Law Office LLC, Western Nebraska Bank, Foster Sales, D&D Service, Happy's Feed Store and Coffee Shop, MNB Realty LLC, Prairie Girl Candle Company, Amateurs, Wendell Seed, Red Roof Farms, Wagner Supermarket, Arapahoe Rehab and Fitness, Trails West, Rachel and Photography, and JBK Operating LLC. We'll take a break, and then we've got 3 interviews lined up with our champions from state wrestling, Addison Arvdal of Sutherland, Ambie Custard of Southwest, and then Jeremy Felix of Alma. You're listening to the RPAC Rundown Podcast. Okay, Addison, let's just begin with the first question here. And it's probably one that, as it happened, you might not have been thinking much because a lot of emotions, but when you were named the state champion right after you won that match, what kind of emotions and what was going through your head after you had won that match?
I was definitely had a lot of excitement going through my head, and just I was really happy that all my hard work throughout the summer and off-season work paid off.
Yeah, no, that's really cool. It's a long tournament. I know it's only 2 days, but there's a lot of waiting, to wrestle again between matches and things like that. How did you stay focused throughout the tournament?
Honestly, just hanging out with Ambie and just some other girls and playing music when I knew it was time for me to warm up.
Yeah. And, it always amazes me when I go down to state. It's a really cool environment. It was the first ever standalone girls state tournament for Nebraska. Really good crowds there at the CHI Health Center. What about it for you made the environment really cool at the stage that you were at?
I think the main part was just knowing that all of those people in the crowd were there to watch girls wrestling and there to support a new and upcoming sport still.
Yeah, very unique, very cool. Now, you had a teammate there with you at state. How much fun was it? You said you visited with Ambie Custard and some of the other girls there, but you had a teammate there with you too. How cool is that to experience it with a teammate too?
It definitely made it 10 times more special and just fun because then you weren't alone and you did know somebody going in, and I couldn't have asked for a better teammate to take down there.
Yeah. Now, we've mentioned Ambie twice so far. She's a fellow RPAC member, and she got a championship under her belt also. You wrestle club with her. How cool was it to see her win a state championship too?
It was so amazing. I knew that she put in just as much, if not more work in off season, and she deserved that state title so much. So seeing her win that gave me just a lot more hope, I guess, to win mine.
Yeah, cool. Very cool. Now, you never want to leave anyone out with a question like this. I'm sure you have a big support system, but what does it mean to have so many folks supporting you throughout not just the state tournament, but throughout the whole season?
It means so much. I never realized how much a support system really did for somebody until these last 2 years. So my support system has definitely been there for me through the hard and the great. So it's amazing.
Yeah. Now, I never like to ask the questions of thinking about repeating and things like that. I want you to enjoy it, but I'll ask this question. How about this? Does winning state give you even more motivation to keep pushing forward since you're only a sophomore? What does it do for you since winning state?
Yes, I definitely want to put in twice as much work this year than what I did last year because I do want to come out and put up a good fight again this upcoming year. And I have some things that I want to work on because there's still some places that I am weak, but...
No, that's awesome. Hey, Addison, again, congrats on winning state, and thanks a bunch for the time, okay?
Thank you.
Okay, Ambie, let's just begin with the first question here. Take me through the moment you won state. What was going through your mind? What were the emotions like for you?
I don't know if it's still even fully hit, like me being like a state champion fully, but in that moment, it's just kind of like a sigh of relief, super exciting, exciting that I won, knowing that I lived up to the hype that I was expected to kind of be, and being able to show everybody that I am good and I did recover.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, throughout the entire tournament, it's a 2-day tournament, obviously, but a lot of matches, a lot of downtime between. How did you stay focused on one match at a time at the state tournament?
Sometimes it was a little bit more difficult than other times, but for the most part, I was just kind of, being me, having fun. Didn't really change a whole lot. If I would have changed stuff, then I kind of feel like I would have had problems, but just, talk to people, kind of help myself focus in. I'm not somebody who can sit there and be kind of super locked in on one thing and only focus on that. I have to kind of sit there and yap with everybody and just keep my mind busy.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, you mentioned it, last year you were injured. How much did it mean to you to be able to persevere and take home a state title?
Well, just going from having my bones sticking out my body and getting plates and screws with me to, having that gold medal around my neck on the podium. It was just kind of a sigh of relief, because when that all first happened, we didn't know like how bad it really was, or if I was going to be able to come back and wrestle, let alone be a state champion. Knowing I came back from that and being able to have that gold medal around my neck was probably like my proudest accomplishment.
No, that's incredible. Now, kind of a fun thing for you. You got to experience a state tournament, obviously, but you got to experience it with your sister Rylan, who finished third. How neat was that for you to share those moments together?
It was definitely the best year of wrestling I've ever had, not just because she's pushed me to be where I am, but to be able to have her there and be able to experience it with me, and me be there for her first experience, to be able to, hey, like, it's gonna seem a little bit overwhelming, but once you go out there, like, it's A-okay. Like, I told her at the beginning, I was like, I'm telling you now, like, it's gonna seem like a lot, but then when you go out there, it just kind of calms the nerves. And she came back from her first match, she goes, I was really nervous going into it, but you're right, it kind of does just calm your nerves once you go out there. But yeah, just having her there as kind of my support and me being there as her support, being able to lean on each other, was definitely a good experience.
Yeah, that's incredible. That's awesome. And obviously, like you said, your sister's part of your support system, but, expanding from family members, friends, coaches, and stuff like that. What does it mean when you get down to a state tournament like that, and then you end up winning it, to have a support system like you have, Ambie?
Yeah, being able to have the support system I do is just a great experience in general. Being able to have, those people that are like, hey, can you buy us some tickets with your group because we want to sit with you guys? Like, we want to sit there and cheer on you guys. Is just like a kind of heartwarming thing anyways. And then getting there and then winning matches and hearing everybody yell, because there's so many of them up there, is just a great thing in general. It kind of puts that little extra pep in your step to, do good and win your matches.
Yeah, no, that's great. Now, fellow RPAC wrestler Addison Arvdal, she got the championship too. I talked to her earlier this week too. You wrestling club stuff with her. How cool was it to see her win a state championship too?
We've kind of honestly grown together. We both went through an injury last year, and we both have kind of pushed each other and worked each other back into where we've become today, being able to, she got a little bit of a head start on me from her recovery back into wrestling, but it was, kind of pushing her to get back into it and having her push me to get back into it. And hey, like, I know it kind of feels weird, but like, I've done this and it helps me. And she'd do the same thing for me. Like, hey, I've done this and I realized like this kind of works a little bit better, since, because we both ended up tearing the same thing in our elbow. So being able to kind of help each other, push each other, and lean on each other for advice and just emotional support back from that has been a huge thing. And being able to experience such a amazing season, both undefeated, was definitely a huge accomplishment of ours together.
Yeah. Now, as you wrap up your high school career, Ambie, what has it all meant to you? Ups and downs, just what has the whole wrestling career throughout your high school meant to you?
Like I said, I don't know if it's even like fully hit me yet that I'm quite done, just because like I'm not technically done, because I still have a bunch of summer stuff and then am going off to college to wrestle too. But just being able to I feel like having such extreme highs and such low lows makes each of them even more exciting, but also sad at the same time. I feel like obviously a state championship is a huge deal in the first place, so being able to win is crazy, but coming from such a low made it an even bigger deal, I feel, to me and kind of my family, on what that state championship really means, and being able to have coaches that really pushed me through everything and help me, learn moves, do things. All of it has just been such a great experience.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, again, congrats and thanks for the time. Okay, Ambie?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, Jeremy, let's just begin with the initial question, the thing that came to my mind right away when I saw you win state. What was your initial reaction when you won on Saturday? What was going through your head as you became a state champion?
Honestly, really nothing. I was kind of felt like another match, but I mean, it didn't really sink until I got back in the tunnel, and just it felt amazing. It was everything I've worked for. So it felt amazing.
Yeah, I was curious about that because when you had won initially off the mat, there wasn't a lot of emotion. I wonder if you were a little bit struck by that. Now let's talk about, beginning of the season. Was this maybe an expectation for you? Was it a goal? What was going through your head throughout the beginning of the year? Kind of your expectations for the season and what you wanted to accomplish.
It's been a goal since I was a little kid, but my expectations, I think I exceeded them. Didn't think I was gonna go undefeated, but yeah, I think I exceeded my expectations.
Let's just talk about that first match. Your opponent had a medical forfeit. How did you stay focused from there on out? Because it was just kind of a different circumstance.
Just came into it like it was another match. I mean, I still warmed up before 90s came up and just tried to keep it as normal as possible.
Yeah,
just stay
that's
warm.
A good plan. Yeah, good plan. Keep it status quo. Now, it's a long tournament, 3 days and things like that. Kind of take me through your routine. How do you stay focused for every match, especially when it is a long tournament like this, Jeremy?
I honestly don't know. I just kind of flip a switch and just get ready mentally, physically. I stretch. I just do what I don't know. I honestly kind of blank out before my matches. Oh.
Gotcha. Now, it's a different environment. You've been to state multiple times, so the environment itself isn't anything new to you. But is it weird to wrestle in a venue like that with multiple mats, different backdrops, things like that? From an athlete's perspective, what's it like to maybe wrestle at CHI Health Center?
It's definitely different. It's really cool being with a lot of people in the arena. I mean, just loud and it's exciting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. There's, covering many state events, there's not a lot like the state wrestling championships. It's probably one of the best venues you can go to. Now, it's, and it too. It's not just you who makes these things happen. You have a great support system between coaches, family members and stuff like that. What does it mean to have them supporting you as you take home a state championship?
It's great. I mean, my brothers are proud of me. My parents, my grandparents. It's great having the support.
Yeah, absolutely. And you close out your career as one of the most decorated wrestlers in Alma history. It had been 31 years since someone had won a state championship at Alma. And what does it mean to you? I know you put in a lot of work and a lot of things like that. What's it mean to you to be one of the top wrestlers when it's all said and done at Alma?
It feels great. I mean, great to represent Alma and just show what can come out of Alma, and it shows that putting in the work is all you need to do to be great.
Awesome. Well, hey, Jeremy, thanks a bunch for the time, man, and congrats on your success, all right?
Thank you.
Welcome back. It's time to announce the RPAC Rundown Athletes of the Week, brought to you by First Central Bank. Let's plan for tomorrow together. First Central Bank member FDIC. We have 2 female athletes of the week this week. First, Ambie Custard of Southwest. Custard placed first at 135 pounds in Class B at the NSAA State Wrestling Championships with a 48-0 record and a career record of 101-6. She also earned her 100th career win in the semifinal match, earning her a spot in the championship match, which of course she won since she was a state champ. Our other female athlete of the week goes to Addison Arvdal of Sutherland. Arvdal placed first at 190 pounds in Class B with a season record of 42-0. She defeated all 4 of her opponents at state by fall. So very impressive there for Addison. Our male athlete of the week goes to Jeremy Felix of Alma. He was crowned the Class C 190-pound state champion with a perfect record of 53-0. Felix ended his career with 168 wins, 327 takedowns, and 125 pins. Our Athlete of the Week awards are brought to you by First Central Bank, member FDIC. That will do it for this week's episode of the podcast. Of course, we have great sponsors of the pod like JBK Operating LLC, Scouts Recreation, First Central Bank, Cross Diamond Cattle Company, Tri-Valley Medical Foundation, and Prairie Girl Candle Company. We've got a lot of things coming up as sub-districts for boys are starting to wrap up. The district finals for girls basketball, they're going to be happening, and then girls state basketball next week and boys state basketball. So stay tuned to see which RPAC teams are able to qualify. A lot of things happening in the postseason. Hey, thanks a bunch for tuning in. We'll catch you later.